You again. What do you want? I suppose you want to talk to me and find out what's on my mind. Alright then. I was driving home yesterday when I found myself behind one of these "I'm in a much more expensive car than you" club. You should have seen it. It was a black, four-wheel drive posh car that had never been off the road in its entire life, unless you count the driveway at Mummy and Daddy's house. And then it was driven by this little girl who couldn't even see over the steering wheel. So this waif of a girl decides to slam her brakes on, and then she decides to indicate. I nearly rammed into the back of her. What does she do? She opens the window and goes, "Oh, don't mind me. Here, I'm just parking." She then spends the next 10 minutes trying to park in a space that I could have parked a Warrior tank in, and still had room to spare. I don't know what it is about women in these posh cars. A lot of the times the vehicle had been given to them by Mummy and Daddy. And then they drive like they own the road. "We have much more money than you, so I can drive whichever way I want." Well, how about driving that piece of crap to the scrapyard and buying a proper car? And then when they do park their boat-sized car, they either park in a disabled bay because they feel they can, or they park in the middle of two parking bays. God forbid that anybody else may want to park. And then there's the school run. Now, we all know that parking outside of school's madness. But add in the big posh car to the equation, and it really becomes a nightmare. There could be a gap that hardly fits a small car, which just so happens to be that little bit closer to the school gates. But they'll still try and park their car in it, so that they don't have to walk and risk getting their little Jimmy Choos dirty. And heaven forbid that their child will have to walk the few extra yards to get to the car. I know this might sound like a crazy idea, but let the kid walk to school. That way, your precious little fatty might lose a bit of weight. I have a saying: big car, no brain syndrome. And feel free to use that every time you see one of these "I'm in a much more expensive car than you" crowd. I know you might think that I'm being sexist, but honestly, I don't care. Men can drive just as badly, but it always seems to be the women doing this stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if these women think that they have more money and bigger, posher cars should have their own special parking bays, which us mere mortals aren't even allowed to consider parking in. Now my coffee's got cold, so go and make me another one. Do you need me to draw you a map to the kitchen?